So tonight we've got Greg England who's going to do a presentation for us on his workflow and processing, predominantly using Pixinsight. So if you don't use Pixinsight, hopefully you'll sort of get something out of it anyway. I think you use sort of Affinity Photo, is the other software, Photoshop and Photoshop. Yeah. So I've just brought up his Astro page on the screen there. So if you have a look at some of those images that he's taken there, they're pretty phenomenal. I think you have to agree. So I think he's very well qualified, very well qualified to talk to us about his image processing. He look at some of the equipment that he uses. He uses a wide range of gear, like a was it a Samyang? I think you got a 135mm sort of really wide field type lens up to, he's got a Rasa C11, yep.
Matthew 190.
Matthew 190, yeah. So he's got a pretty wide range of things. You have wide field to sort of telephoto type stuff. So he's got some pretty great images there. LRGB and narrowband. So I'll hand over to Greg and he can run through, and if we have some time at the end after we finish, we'll share some images if people have thought something else. So thanks very much, Greg.
No worries. Hello all. Yeah, so I started probably with the AST back in the late 80s. Halley's Comet was the trigger, and I probably sort of lost interest when I had to build a house and got married probably in the early 90s. So COVID got me back into astronomy, stuck at home, saw some new gear online, so I thought it was pretty good being able to control it out with a computer rather than stare through a bindoscope for 2 hours trying to find a galaxy. So that's what put me back into it.
That's us there with Hubble images, I think, Greg.
It's just a bit wider.
What was that taking? So that's 135.
No, so that's the Russell rate, so that's a 400mm with an APC sensor.
Yep.
So I can't tell you offhand what the field of view is.
Yep.
And that was about 2 hours integration.
That's not much.
No, that's
Impressive stuff.
Very good.
The Coral computer's been having a hissy fit since I had a brown out about a month ago at work. And every so often it just goes, computer needs to restart, and it crashes. So, fingers crossed. I do have a backup, it's just very small. Right, where are we? There we go. Right.
I'm just showing off there.
So that's that's 135mm lens. That's the Samyang 135mm lens. And believe it or not, that's only about 90 minutes of integration time.
No, don't believe it.
So that was 33-minute exposure.
Yeah.
At f2.
Which camera?
ZWI 2600 MC Pro. And it's actually when you blow it up that the detail in the on the pencil nebula in the corner there, it's nearly as good as the 1000mm shot I took of it. So, anyway, let's get started. So our aim is to try and turn what we see on the web into an image that we actually would like on the right there. And I like to just think, well, what do I like? What is the image? I mean, it's to suit you, it's not to suit anyone else. So if you like them bright and oversaturated or not saturated, or it's up to you. So that's my take on that. Now, I edited this image 3 times and I got 3 different results. And I was trying to get the same result each time.
Oh.
So,
Which result were you trying to get?
well, I think I was trying to get between the right one and the middle one, somewhere between there. But yeah, it just shows I can never cook the raw file the same twice for some reason. The Pixinsight. So I've been going over some old data. There's a few new tools available in Pixinsight. So in 2021 I had the witch head there on the left, and then in the last month I edited it again, and you can see there's a bit of a difference between the 2 images.
See, I do need to keep all those files.
So, did you use different sets of images or exactly the same set of
Exactly.
image?
Actually, I've got rid of all the images. I only had the XISF file left.
Ah.
So it was the same file. So yeah, it's a big difference.
You've got the monochrome 2600.
No, it's a colour.
The colour.
Yeah, colour one. Now what's next? Right. So lately I've been using a lot of scripts from Bill Blanchard. He's got a YouTube called Another Astro channel. He's a really clever guy and he writes the Pixinsight scripts. So there's the star reduction methods he has, and there's also some other SHO palettes and HO palettes he writes, and the colour masks are very useful and are quick. I don't tend to spend any more than probably 30-40 minutes editing an image. It's either going to work or it won't work. And if I spend more than 30-40 minutes, then I normally just leave it and have another crack at it.
Those scripts you've got there, those, like red mask, yellow mask, do they use the colour mask?
Yeah,
they do. So they're just got the numbers built into them.
Yeah, so it's just drag and drop.
Okay.
And he's got a mask puller there. The star reduction method works quite well. The crop tool's the first one I use, and process 39, which is, I've got no idea now, but anyway. I then use photometric colour calibration, which I was talking to Lee. It's changed this morning. I downloaded and updated the Pixinsight, and now it's gone. And the replacement I can't work out how to use. So,
Which one was that, Greg? Sorry.
the photometric
Oh,
colour
that's right.
calibration.
You got a spectro.
Yeah,
one.
but I can't
As
work,
of today.
I can't work out how to use it.
No.
With this one, you could just either go acquire from image or search. This new one, there's none of that, and it just won't recognise it. So.
I always have troubles with the photometric color calibration. Each time I run it, it gives me a weird color cast, like it's, I'm going pink color cast, I'm getting purple and such, and once I stretch the image after, it's like nothing happened, really weird.
Wow. Probably what I use more than anything are masks and the curve transformation tool lately. That's what I mainly use. The local histogram equalisation gives a better depth to the image, I find, if you apply that. And unless I need to, I don't use background visualisation or dynamic background extraction. Only if there's light pollution or there's a gradient, but if I can't see that, I don't run it. That's not every image though.
No.
If the moon was out, I'd probably run dynamic background. And I think that new photometric colour calibration's got background visualisation built into it now. So it'll actually colour calibrate it.
If I'm not wrong, even in the old one, you had the very last tab down. You had the background neutralization in there.
I never looked at that tab.
Yes. And the very
Because it was a
bottom
long
of the,
tab, now it's a very short one. Okay, so there's, I'll run through Pixinsight. This is just the PowerPoint put together. So this is, the Seagull Nebula. So this is just a stretched, integrated image. Nothing's been applied, I just stretched it. So what I normally like to do is hit it with a double nuke. I double stretch it just to check to see if there's any gradient or there's any artefact hidden in there. And that looked pretty clean to me, so I couldn't see any gradient and I didn't bother doing any background extraction with that one. So the first step I do is just the dynamic crop. Because I do drizzle, so I did the image, so there's always a few mils that needs to come off side of the image. Now, photometric colour calibration. There's the background utilisation at the bottom there. I see it now. So I normally either acquire from image or search the coordinates, and then I click I don't generate a graph because I don't know what the graph represents anyway. I can't read it. There's a lot of blobs on the graph. I don't know what it means. Yeah. So my first step. So I've done a basic stretch, and I've stretched it to the point where I'd like the stars. So this is how I want the stars to look. I'm not worried about anything else. I'll then use RC Astro Star Exterminator. I find this is the best. I have used StarNet, but this is another level up above StarNet, especially. It's just brilliant. In the last few months, I've learned that if Adam Block did an excellent presentation on it, how to take the stars out and put the stars back in the proper way. Half the stuff he said was above my pay grade, but I did get the gist of it. So he suggested you use this, you use unscreened stars. And that, I think you can do it in Photoshop as well, but you'll see later on the stars look a lot more natural, especially over any, like a galaxy or nebulosity. The stars just look so much better. And I select large overlap because I find that when you're stretching an image, if I don't select large overlap, I can see a lot of squares start appearing, especially if you have drizzled the image. And then I just rename that the stars as stars, and I have my starless image. Now you'll notice in the here there was the nebula on the right there is quite bright. So the first thing I did was to create a mask using the mask range selection. I then applied the mask to the image, and then I invert the mask. So at the moment I'm going to stretch all the image except that bright part on the right. So this is just an initial stretch of the image. I then run Noise Exterminator from RC Astro. This is another excellent tool, worth every penny. Once that's run, I'll stretch the image further, add a little bit of contrast. So the background's now starting to go slow.
It's curved.
Now I'm using the curve transformation. I've just gone to the blue channel, and I'm just enhancing the blue channel a bit to try and bring out a bit more depth, a bit of blue there around the centre of the Seabell Nebula. Once I've stretched the blue, the image goes a bit green, a bit magenta, so then I add a bit of green back into it. A bit of that contrasted curve there to bring that green out of the way, and then take the magenta away from the centre of the image. Now I've created a yellow mask. Now green will subtracting green or adding green will change the colour of the yellow or red channel. So to get a bit more colour depth, highlight boosting the green in the highlights and lowering the green in the shadows has given that nice, you can see around the edge where the blue, I can't use the mouse in this, but you can see the difference in the centre there, how it's now starting to get a nice little yellow tinge. It's starting a little bit more 3D. And then I've applied a blue mask, and I'm just concentrating on the little bit of funny half circle blue part in the middle. I'll go over this in Pixinsight. This is just in case Pixinsight crashed on me. I did a PowerPoint. I've then applied a magenta mask. Now this is just enhancing that central portion again. You can see the difference between the left and the right. It's just a little bit. I've just adjusted the curves and just brought that center portion up a little bit. Now dark. I like using the dark structure enhance switch, and probably not a great benefit in this image, but it's just made that little bit of dark structure in the head of the seagull nebula just pop out a little bit more. Then I've just applied another curves transformation, so I've just lowered the blacks, boosted the highlights again. Now this is the local histogram visualisation, so it's just given it a bit of depth, you can see in that image, and then in this one, it's just sort of brought some stuff forward and sent some stuff. It's just added contrast to the edges. I think that's what this one's done. Now I make a clone for the starless image because I'm going to use Bill's tools here. So I add the stars back in, and this is the formula that Adam Locke recommended to add the stars back in. So the formula there, I've got the name of the image, and then stars is my star-only image, and then the operation screen function. So that's put the stars back in. Now this is the difference between just using the image plus stars for this formula. So you can see on the left there, the stars are very bright compared to the stars on the right. The stars on the right look a lot better over the, this is the galaxy, a lot better over the galaxy image, and they also, they just look like a more natural star. So I know I've blown this up a bit, but you can see the stars just look far more natural on the right image. If you don't have RC Astro Star Exterminator, you can just use StarNet, and the trick is to invert your main image, invert the starless image, and then you do a division. So you divide the starless image into the image with the stars, and the nebulosity cancels itself out. The values cancel each other out, and then you're just left with stars, and then you just invert them back again, and you've got basically the same as the unscreened stars function. And then I just use one of Bill's scripts, Star Production Method 3. I just drag and drop it on that image, and it just does a great job of reducing the number of stars there. Now I save this as a TIFF in Affinity Photo, then I in Pixinsight, and then I bring it into Affinity Photo. Now, the reason I use Affinity Photo instead of Photoshop, Affinity Photo was $69 one-off fee when I bought it. It basically does what Photoshop does, but I don't have to pay a monthly subscription. And I think I've had Affinity Photo now for 4 or 5 years. I've never paid a cent until I paid another $60 out a week for the premium version. So it's good value, just a little bit different. And what Affinity Photo let me do is specifically target colours. So I just use the select colour function. I boosted the red, and I've boosted the yellow. I've adjusted the bit of contrast, and then I've adjusted the blues just to bring up that just the image the way I like it. And then I've just done one final curve adjustment just to drop the blacks a bit. And there we have it. So, start image on the left and finish image on the right. Took about half an hour. That's about how long this is going to take to fire a Pixinsight, I think. Go. Wow. Probably get two. Here we go. Do you have the same one of these quotes?
No, this is great.
About 300 gig file.
Oh,
yes, go for it.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
I know we've been there a bit now, but why do we have to use like Affinity Photo or Photoshop at the end? Why can't we do it in Pixinsight?
You could boost the saturation. You could do it all in Pixinsight. I just like the ability. I just find it quicker and easier in Affinity Photo since I had that already doing normal photography. I had that already, and it's just gives me another level of adjustment basically. But you could do it all in Pixinsight.
I thought you were doing it in Pixinsight, no?
Yeah, I just find it a little bit more complicated trying to isolate all the reds and all the blues. See all those errors from not having the photometric colour calibration?
Yeah.
So your new license is a once-off again?
For
If
Affinity Photo, yeah, I've just released a brand new version. So they supported the one I've had for probably 7-8 years. Now they've got an Affinity 2 or whatever it is.
So they're sticking with the one-off license, or you're only
Yeah, no, one-off
push out
license.
it before?
No one-off license. I probably could have just stuck with the old one. I just thought there might be some new features in it.
Yeah.
So I wasted probably $60.
But you've saved it over the years anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, same with Lightroom. I got a bit sick of Lightroom because once they went to subscription, I got on one then because I don't want to tie it in. Like I paid for the upgrades. I think I paid nearly $300 originally for Lightroom when it first came out. It was a horrendous price, and then they go to subscription based. But Lightroom is an excellent product. It's one of the best photo editors out there.
This is all being recorded on the website too.
I just don't like
On
being
YouTube.
tied into that
Yeah, yes,
subscription base.
Yep, I agree.
I agree.
And Pixinsight's good like that. Like it is expensive. It was $300 or something, but it's a one-off payment.
I think they will charge us an upgrade fee once they go to 1.9.
Will they?
Yeah, I think I read something about that. They won't charge anything for any versions in between, but for any big jump, they will charge something.
Yeah, I'll just stick to this one then, unless I get a camera it won't support.
Yeah, but it won't be like the cost we paid first. What was about $300 or something? The license will be much less, but yeah, they have to make some money.
Right. So my resolution's gone all weird since it's been plugged into the TV screen. Oh, it's all good. Right. Here we go.
How did you make the Pixinsight to automatically load your icons at the start? Because I tried, but I have to do it manually.
I saved it as a project.
Yeah, so
Ah, okay.
That's why it took 5 minutes to load because it's something like a 30
So basically,
gig file.
you did all the project, yes.
under file, it
Yeah.
says save as a project and then
Yeah.
name it. Mine's workspace
Ah.
one.
The way I did it, I saved all the icons and I'm going in the process and load icons.
Yeah, that's where I've got mine now. Normally,
Mhm.
I only save this as a project just for tonight. I wouldn't normally do it because it takes up like 4 minutes. And where's my mix in this time?
Greg, that image you had of the, with the Samyang,
Yep.
was that guided on your mount? So you had your camera, the 2600 back into the back of the
Lens.
lens?
And I had a little 120mm guide scope on top.
Oh, okay, yeah. And you put that on a plate
Yeah.
and just put the plate on the mount and just...
Yeah, with the Samyang lens you can actually get a little 3D printed mount so it goes almost like a telescope. It sits
Oh,
in there.
okay.
It's got a focuser on the side. It's got a,
Because I've got a 135 size, but it's a brick. It's really heavy. It's a 1 kilo lens,
yeah.
and you want something to grab it
Yeah.
at its centre of gravity because you obviously get some flexure.
You can't get a tripod collar for it.
Yeah, I was hoping to get like a little mini cradle ring thing, but
I don't think they are making collars for those lenses.
Ah.
Because the lens it is heavy, that one is heavy, but
Yeah.
it is short.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm just interested to see how you did that. Yeah. It's a very good lens, that Samyang.
I bought recently a cheap f2.8 lens from eBay. I think I spent about $200 for it, and it's 200mm f2.8. I haven't tested it yet, but if it works, that would be a good option. Really, $200 and the lens looks brand new.
First step. So there's one. I've done a crop. And then I've run, this is what, process 39 now. So this is photometric colour calibration. I can't get it to do anything. Anyway. So I ran photometric colour calibration on this image. And I've stretched it to where I like the stars. So you can just see a little bit of nebulosity coming in here. I haven't stretched this one as far because this one I'm going to try and do a Hubble palette, fake Hubble palette with a one-shot colour camera. And I find when I apply the script, this little bright bit of nebulosity over here just blows out completely. So, done a star, unscreened stars. So there's my stars. Trying to think what my next step was. So I've just brightened it a little bit, just watching that I didn't blow this out. And then I use where's built scripts down the page. So this is the script build mention, right? You can adjust all these figures. I don't know what they do, but he does. He's got about a 40-minute video on what all these figures do. I just know to just drag and drop it. So that's after you drag and drop it. Notice this little, it's got quite bright. So the next thing I did was create a range mask by using, I don't want to get rid of that. So I use mask generation, range selection, so I did something like that. So I just wanted to cover that little bit of bright nebulosity. I want to apply those, so so
You have to invert that, don't you?
where's my, yeah, so where's the mask, invert mask? Right, so there's the mask applied, so it's just covering this little bit of nebulosity there. And then I'm using the curves tool, I'll just just using the curves transformation tool, I just brought that down, and then I think I did that twice. So I've just darkened that bright little bit of nebulosity again. And I applied another histogram transformation. So I've just stretched it a bit using the histogram transformation tool. And now I've got, blue mask. So I've created a blue mask using Bill's, so it's just a matter of dragging and dropping that icon here, and that will create the blue mask. So I'm just going to work on this area in here just to brighten it up a bit. Once again, just using the curves. So all I'm doing here, I'm just increasing the level there. Now I've just added a little bit of blue, so I've gone to blue. And I'll just stretch that up a bit like that, just to bring out a bit more blue. Now, I think I'll apply a yellow. No? No, still on the blue mask. Another curve. still bringing out, I just gradually, I didn't want to boost it up too much. But I think I missed it. My very noisy exterminator, I wanted to show you how that worked. I missed that. Because I find when you do use the fake bubble palette, my images go quite noisy. I can't see the noise though.
Next time.
It worked before. Right, now. Right, now I've got a yellow mask on. So there's the yellow mask. Just apply that. Same thing, I've just dragged and dropped the yellow mask icon on the image. Mask is in place, and I'm just bringing, I'm adjusting this now with the green. So by adding, see how that gives a bit more golden depth colour? Just putting just an S curve in there. I go the other way. I prefer that nice golden look at mine. James Webb likes that golden look too. So just adjusting that green. And when we adjust the green more than anything, just bringing that a bit more, making it a bit more gold, still working on the yellow mask. Now, red mask. Let's check to see which mask this one. Yes, now I'll switch to the red mask. Same thing, I'm just adjusting that green curve. Just giving it a little bit of depth. Still just doing it slightly, adjusting the red curve. Now the mask is removed, and now I'm just doing a general curve. I'm just generally just stretching the image, just making it a bit brighter. Added a bit of saturation. Do another curve transformation. So I've just done a general. I might probably do something like dropping the blacks down a bit, something like that, just to give it a bit more contrast. Might take that up a little bit there. Something like that. Done it again. Now this is the local histogram equalisation. This is a good version. Lost it. So I like using this tool because it just gives everything a little bit of contrast. See how that just makes it a little bit 3D?
Works a little bit like clarity in Photoshop.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've gone from, and that's what it required. So it's just made it a little bit contrast around the edges. So using the pixel map script. Now, that's not the one I want. Sorry, all my icons are being moved around, plugging into the TV. That's my excuse. I haven't even got start exterminating. on the unscreened stars, you can see the formula, second from the bottom. So I think this basically does what Adam Bloch's formula does, but it's a bit different. So bracket starless times whatever that's in stars. And I had that as a so that's out of the stars quite nicely. So one thing I like doing with Affinity Photo, I can just pick on colours. Just the red, just the tint of the red. Blues. That one a purple. I just don't know how you do this in Pixinsight. You can. I've only been mucking around with it for 12 months. I downloaded the free trial version and I couldn't even work out how to integrate an image for 2 months.
So Greg, when you're boosting those channels, you're affecting the mask that's that particular colour, aren't you?
Yeah, well,
Otherwise your background would go that colour.
yeah, so within Affinity Photo, it's just targeting it. It just knows to target that colour and nothing else. So there's no mask applied.
Oh, it does that by default?
Yeah, there's no mask applied.
Well, Pixinsight won't do that.
It's only affecting whatever I select here.
If you were doing that in Pixinsight...
I'd have to create a mask.
Yeah, because your background would go
Yeah.
that colour.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting.
So that's handy. Another thing I like, and I've just got to move that down. I'll just move that down. Sometimes I'll bring the starless image into Affinity Photo before I add the stars back in. And if you want to sharpen stuff up, I found that there's a bit of a trick there with the clarity slider. You can make it look really horrible. Probably going to go 87%. If I invert it, select the paintbrush.
It's great with stars though, it puts things in context.
Then you can sort of paint the sharpness
And
in over if you want. If you just want something to pop out.
Is that for Matt?
No,
Yeah,
it's
but-
it's cheating, isn't it? And all of my photos.
We'll be doing the same.
But that's the one I like. So, what else could I do with that one? Affinity Photo is not bad. It'll actually stack as well. Okay. So it's actually got astrophotography stacking, so you can add all your light frames, bias frames, dark frames into Affinity Photo. It's also got background extraction built in. So basically for $69 you could do all your stacking and everything in here.
So did you used to use that solely?
I did, yeah, when I started, I used to just stack the Nikon D500 files in here. Nowhere near the same results as the 2600 quid camera though.
And is that available for Windows as well?
Yep. And you can also get Star Exterminator and Noise Exterminator for Affinity Photo. So that'd be a cheap option. And there's a few tutorials by Affinity Photo online for just astrophotography. That's where I picked a few of the, like to do the clarities and adjust the colours. That's what I think. So it's not bad. And there's another one here, the dust and scratches. The new version will work on, is it 32-bit? This one will only work on 8-bit. So if you end up with a really noisy file and when you blow it up, you can see like little hot pixels or little red pixels through here. Just click the dust and scratches and just drag the slider and they just magically disappear.
And can you load raw files as well, JPEG?
In here, yep, and fit files.
And fit.
Yeah, it just won't take the XI, SF file.
Does it accept TIFF files as well?
Yep, yep. All camera files, all camera raw files.
So it does the Nikon, because the Nikon has proprietary raw files that level.
Yes,
So
that's,
yeah.
that's all that. There's the Affinity Photo 2. I haven't really played with it. It's basically the same except when you open it. Got three things open now, this will crash it. It seems to be more orientated to, I don't know, sort of video or something. I don't know, but it's got the same layout as before. Yeah. The only thing I'll probably do is probably I've got my this one brings up a lot nice pretty histogram. Probably just take the flux down a little bit. So I'm basically pretty happy with that image, I reckon, from a one-shot colour camera.
That is quite impressive. You can do that from one-shot colour camera.
Yeah, using those scripts that, yeah. And just adding that little bit of contrast using the green. Here we go. You can sort of, instead of just being a gold and blue image, you do get like a fake sulphur sort of look, don't you? You sort of got the different colour reds.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that's very impressive.
I've got more done than I thought I would.
What temperature are you running down the camera screen?
I probably don't need to run it any lower than 0 really, but I run it at -10 just because it makes me feel good. but from all the reports I've read where the noise curve comes down, like 0 is probably all you really need to go.
Yeah.
And I find the 2600 is pretty noise free. Like it's a very good camera. In fact, I think this image, the only thing I have with light frames and flat frames.
Yeah. Have you got the QHY version or the ZWR?
I've got the ZWR.
ZWR.
But yeah, so you can see that how just adjusting those colours. I shouldn't have closed it because I lost that. But yeah, so it's just made that little bit brighter.
Yeah.
From Pixinsight, I suppose we could just go in the curves. I just like playing around with individual sort of thing. Only because I just want to try and get a little bit more depth, but I mean that looks quite good as well. Probably a little bit oversaturated now.
Do you find you have to keep recollimating your RASA, or?
I've collimated it once, and I think it's due. It's probably been 12 months, and I think it's starting to show signs of getting the little donut across the field. It's not.
You don't take it out in the field. You've got a permanent setup.
I've got a pier set up, but I do have a pier set up, and I've got a little hut I built out over it on the decking. But the telescopes come on and off, and the RASA mainly goes on the EQ6, which is I've just got a 90 by 90 post in the ground. I just bring the EQ6 out and bolt on top.
Oh, okay.
So it gets in and out. I did make a trip down to Strathgordon. I got to Strathgordon and forgot the counterweight. And it was crystal clear night too. And I was trying to get the monkey back of the lower right, and a perfect view to the west. So I was very disappointed. I had two mounts. I had the HEQ5 and the 6, and no counterweights. I had all the gear and no idea.
You need a harmonic drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
You find a nice bag, a sturdy bag. If you have with rocks, you apply it.
I did a check too. I went through everything. Well, I thought of the bag with the rocks, but
Can't
Well,
distribute the
that's-
measurement.
sort of maybe if I had a roll of gaffer tape,
Well, it's either that or nothing, So
the gaffer tape would fix everything.
Imagine a few choice words come out of that one.
No, I was pretty gutted. So I don't know whether you want to look at another. There's another one there. I think what's the Lagoon Nebula, the Dragon. I've only done the colour calibration on it. That's as far as I got with that. Does anyone want to have a crack at that, or you're happy to get it?
You're on a roll.
On a roll.
Okay.
Now you can really see me stuff on it.
That's what I'm having.
I wouldn't mind looking at some of your Astro bit images. I haven't seen those before, so they look fantastic.
Yes. Lost. Gone. Right.
Oh, that's a draw word, yeah.
This one. It would take a bit to load, that's all. So sorry about that.
So the website for those scripts, what is that?
Another Astro channel. If you go to YouTube, you look for another Astro channel.
Yeah.
You'll find Bill Blanchard, and in his description, you'll have like a link. I think it just goes to like a Dropbox or something like that, and you just download it. I have got them here.
Is it called USB?
Videos I've put on YouTube. I have got them. I could email them to you. I don't think they're that big. I'll see how that's right.
It's just a Google Drive file, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a Google Drive.
But all you do, you download it and then you just drag it
Yeah.
onto the Pixinsight desktop. Like
Okay.
you just drag it here and it will just appear as an icon, and then you just save it with your icon.
Yeah, okay.
So all you do is download it and then just drop them on the Pixinsight and they appear. So that's a 4K telly, is it?
I think
I wouldn't have one.
Is that why my this is a 5K monitor, but when I was testing this out on my 1920 PTV home, I didn't have to.
yeah, I reckon that's 4K.
I'll ask him to cost next week.
Right. Okay, so I've got it here. Okay. So I've already done the stars, and I have starless image and star. So, do you want to try a Hubble palette or just one shot colour?
Go for one
Sure,
shot.
one shot colour, yeah.
Now I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do. So I had all day to think of what I was doing with the other one. So that's stretched. So it's
Greg, did you use any extra filtration with the one-shot colour or
yes, I did.
good Octolong?
I used a, no, I'm giving away the Octolong Extreme. Michael's got his name on that. I got sick of the halos, so I've got a IDAS NBZ filter,
Oh, I know, yeah,
which is good at f2. The L Extreme was hopeless at f2.
Was it?
We've got about a third of the signal at f2. Some people report good at f2. The only other, the Amplia dual band, that worked well at f2. In fact, I used the Amplia for the Vale Nebula shot.
Is the IDAS one dual band or one?
Yeah, it's dual band.
Dual band.
And I think ASCAR have just released the dual band 03 S2. So now I'm thinking with the one-shot colour camera with the two filters, you can get your true Hubble palette because you can
Yeah.
capture 2 oxygen and hydrogen and solid.
Mm. Mm.
So I haven't seen any tests on how that one performs. So what have we got? Right, we've got a bit of noise there. Right. Let's go to the old noise external. I normally apply noise exterminator before I stretch an image. You could probably do it afterwards. Nice and quiet. So if you re-stretch that down, what does it look like? Super nine. Impressive. Does a really good job. I could have them on stand. Right, so what I'm going to do. No English. Another little tool here, just to blur it. Do it 4 times just to get the colour.
That's script from the same guy.
Yep. Yep, same guy. Big mask. What I think I might do, I'll just boost the blues. adjusting the overall brightness of the red mask there. See if we can get a bit of depth in. Bit of an S-curve on the green channel. Yeah, do that again. Like an now I've dragged it up there, what do we know?
Yeah, just because you can't just might just scroll down on the window to see the button thing. Oh god.
I'll do that mistake again. Okay. Take the red mask off. Apply a yellow mask. I'll blur the mask again. Wish you had like a mask where it did 4 times the, then I wouldn't have to keep dragging it. Lighting mask there. Probably, there's only a little bit of, this will probably just give it a bit more depth. Adjust the green channel. Half this is just playing around with it. I'm trying not to make it look all red. I want to try and make it, because it is a very red, if you, I find it a very red target. It's one shot colour. It's all how you want it to look, I suppose. And I prefer that. I don't want to make it more like taking green away will add red. Adding green will make it more yellow. I don't actually mind yellow.
I'm assuming that where you said at the beginning, you never seem to replicate the same.
Yeah, now you can see why.
This is why, because obviously you're doing it each.
Yeah, I'm just, and nothing said, I'm just adjusting it to how I think I
You
like
receive
it.
it at the second.
Yeah. And then, I might just adjust the brightness of the, this is where I'm still on the yellow mask, so just apply a little bit of a contrast and a bit more brightness on the yellow mask. What I was trying to do, there is a little bit of blue there, but I think I've killed it off now. What you can do, you can make a clone, and then absolutely go with the rest of the blue. Probably not going to do too much. And then actually use that to make a blue mask. And then I'm just hoping that that will help me bring out the blue and the other one. No. I probably should have brought the blue out before I started the other colours actually. I'll just try adjusting it. And bring some blue out just using the curves. Bit more. if I bring that red back, it's just going to be really red. Yeah. So if I would have normally just stretched it with one shot colour, that's probably what it would end up. Use the dark structure enhanced good one. I'll use it for that'll just when that's run, it won't take long, it'll just make all the dark dust lines there, it'll just pop and
I suppose the equivalent would be, if you use camera raw in Photoshop, you can enhance the blacks that way too, can't you?
Yeah, it sort of adds contrast too. It sort of it sort of makes that it just sort of if you look there, it just sort of makes it pop.
You have a few tools in Adobe Camera Raw. They have added quite some time ago texture, and you have clarity, and you have also there is a little bit of decays which can be added in there.
So overall, I'm not liking the colour of the red, and I like this bit of gold down here, and I like the bit of blue, but the red, I'll put a red mask on that, and then I'm going to try and adjust the hue of the red channel. And this looks totally different to the actual one I did a while ago. I think I've got about 3 different versions of this now.
But there are so many possible permutations, even plotting points along a single colour, and that can affect the image dramatically, can't it?
Yeah.
So unless you record what you're doing, you can never get back to the same thing.
Yeah, unless you had a set curve, unless everything was set and you just
reset, yeah.
Yeah, like just doing that curve stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm never going to get it the same flow. And I do so many stretches and curves.
But it's interesting to see the different versions anyway. They've all got their own appeal.
So I don't know whether this will work. I think we'll go. So it's making it a bit more golden colour, but I don't like that colour, is it?
No.
This might be a do-over.
30-minute walk away.
Yeah. One of those ones where you think, I wish I'd never touched it.
Could it be related to when you said you think you were too late to do anything about the blue?
The blue? Yeah.
Could it be sort of an artifact of that?
It could have been. I mean,
it's not quite got the same.
I don't mind that sort of goldy look I've got there now. I think that's looking better. The beauty of it now is I can bring it into Affinity Photo and just work on that red and probably adjust that red to the way. I mean, the image is still fairly clean. So what I might do, take the mask off there. If I can get this to save it. And Affinity will only like a TIFF file. I don't like that big name. Image 7 sounds good. Good. I get all these warnings, I just keep clicking OK. I suppose it'll take more than half an hour. Work on the reds. Just got a bit more control in here, and I just find this is a lot quicker than doing it. Done nothing. But no good at all. Since I've got it in here without stars, this is the preferred one. I'd like to on high pass star and put that to overlay. See the difference between adjusting the edges. Well, I think that's where I'm going to go, so I'll put the stars in. I can't remember which formula, so I should. Seven. And what I probably should do before I do that, I'll make a clone. Stars. And stars. For these scripts to work, star reduction method, one's got to be called starless, but that's too much. Because I didn't stretch the stars much to begin with, you don't probably, I probably wouldn't, but that's how that star reduction method works. It's actually, you just have a clone, the starless image, call it starless, and it's just drag and drop. So I think it does a nice job putting stars back in there. Oh, I'm not going to do that one again. I don't know whether I can't show you because I didn't bring my photo drive, but I could show you the other edit I did. We've lost it. Go on. I think the first version I loaded up was just a one-shot colour and then I did the Hubble colour. There it is. I think I got the Hubble colour.
that was the same image, just done with the whole colour. And there's the first one. See, I worked on it a little bit more. I've probably got more stars in that one because that was done before I got the RC Astro tools. And that's not quite there, and it's a real colour form. So, I'll get out of this one. Yeah, so this is the sanding up lens. So that's 2 panels that arrive. So you can see the horse head in the middle. Arrive with that there. So it's a massive bit. It's quite a good little lens.
Never seen the Barnard loop so bright.
Well, it was a 3 panel, but I chopped the witch's head off. Well, I originally took this one and I thought, oh yeah, but when I did the 3 panel, it went straight through the witch's head. So I didn't quite frame that one up right, but that's a single frame.
You managed to suppress the light from Regal pretty well there.
Yeah, well, that was once again using the star exterminator, just stretching it to the limit I wanted.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just
It's a great tool, that.
those tools are really good. And I just did this one today during the meeting because as you do, it's probably a bit blue, but yeah, I thought I'd have a crack at that. That's the one-shot colour.
These are all with the raster?
No, this was with the 1000mm 190 Skywatcher.
Oh, right.
That's a top Newtonian. So I find nights very few and far between where I can use a 1000mm focal length.
Yeah.
I thought the C11 was going to be the bee's knees at 2000mm, but I think I've used it once.
Yeah.
The seeing conditions down here just don't allow it. So I think 400mm with the rasters were pretty like. I wouldn't care what the seeing conditions were like at 400mm, but at 1000mm, it's like this one here, the pencil nebula. That I had to pick a really good night for that, and it probably still isn't quite as sharp as it could be. That's a beautiful image.
Is that with a black Newtonian, is it?
Yeah, that's the Newtonian. But the colour, I was quite happy because the colour I got there is almost identical to my wide field shot. If you look up in the corner here, the red there, the dust line, there's a pencil nebula there. So, that's it. Awesome. Thanks, Rick. We might just take a short break and then have a drink or whatever, and then we can think about our questions for Rick.
Yeah, we can put it in now, it's alright. Is that alright? I have to change.
Just before we have a break, I've been watching in live view on my phone, so when you go home, it'll be recorded on the website in the YouTube channel.
Why that lady was complaining, and rightly so.
All right. Well, we can try mine like that. See how we go.
Well, I just didn't want to play with it.
I just do it to colour. But you can see there that it's different to the other three of them. It's the same object. When I shoot the lobster,
Yeah, I don't know why that's not working. I don't know why that's not working, but I'm not going to play with it.
I'll bring mine next week, see if it's any better.
Look, it might be something like
When I ordered that Fontil in bed one night.
What's that?
I ordered that Fontil one night in bed.
Well, it works like at home. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's a setting.
The sofa, that's where it's right.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, we're getting low battery. I wonder if I should put the battery
Where's the three hashes?
I've actually got some YouTube pictures from the twice. And I've got a message, sound isn't great, I don't think this microphone is working. It's okay, you can hear it, but it's not great, so I have to sort it out.
I didn't even know there was a dark feature screen.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, no one hears that.
I've used, because I usually use camera raw.
Yeah.
And do the blacks and that, but
Yeah, no, it just builds in a bit more sort of dynamic range. Yeah, my head's in those dark. I'm just trying to think. There was something I used just to break this up.
Slide around to what you think.
I spent on my 47 takes, I spent 8 hours. And I still wasn't happy with it, but the way you shit was how it's colours, if I did that, I'd get a bloody cast in the background 40 times. When I just mug around the channels, it drives me nuts. And I've used that. But it was only 30 seconds. But I said, Richard, you never see this stuff off the bridge. I realise the CCD's been he says, are you sure? And he puts the bloody thing on, but he comes back and he says, no, you got an off-axis tilt. Because that night, I had to point out it's really crude. And of course, the actual tilt was quite right. Although the image is flat. $1,000 flat. And it's beautiful, it's rich, but it still wasn't
So I've got 135 millimeters for a white patch.
How do you set those two? Those light cameras?
I just sort of turn it up.
So
Yeah, that's that process that Adam Block ran through on doing the stars. You can either do the division. It was all one of those. About a month ago, I think it was called colour calibration, colour correction. And you had stars which was really just that's where I got the formula from in this show, and I didn't realise I'd done screen stars. I basically just take the stars out and I just go with each plus stars. Yeah, that's all I've ever done. And then I saw the difference.
Well, I just had a trial version of AST.
And I love and starting two was probably the storage, but the farm was really just released a new one. Look, you still get one. I might have to watch that on the James Webb picture, it just completely the artificial that noisy stuff. When I saw it, I said, when I saw it, it was like a no-brainer. My old weekend, there wasn't much, it was because I was using noise, and then you start out, just in a better job, spider up and bring it break That's the lazy approach. But it's whatever works, and if you're happy with that. Well, the idea is then you click to see what you're looking at. I'll let it
I couldn't understand the
Have you been, Lee? Probably long.
Take photos in the clouds.
We had just the most dreadful weather. Just make sure this is still working. Oh, yeah, no.
I think we'll take the seats again, please. We'll get back underway. Yeah, it's been that great lately.
Well, what do you do? Well, it's a little easier, so it's going to be a wet summer. So just got to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be able to go back and reprocess all my images now using Reeves techniques. So, that'll be interesting.
I'll just say something about the kit. Oh yeah, because Mark must be promoted. Okay, do that at the end if you want.
I thought that was funny how I had your images in there too. Oh, I said I must really, really like that. So we've just done this tonight.
Okay, we can fix it anytime.
It's not perfect, but look, it's better than nothing. Yeah, so I think I need to get a video capture card to plug the HDMI into. I had a bit of a Google, so I think if I get one of those, that should work.
Because really, the computers nowadays they don't have HDMI. That's the problem. So you can't really get the pure signal today.
No, but nothing's ever easy, is it? But that's alright. What do you do?
Yeah. Is there any reason I said
Alright, well that was pretty much Greg's presentation, but I just thought to see if anyone had any questions for Greg on how he does what he does. He's given us his demo. It's really interesting to see how other people process images and what they do and what their thought process. Yeah, I don't know, it's a map either. Sorry? Greg, I don't know.
Thanks so much, Greg.
Is that a calming influence?
But it made it all this way.
Yeah, I just want to click on will it work? A double click? I don't know whether it's this one. Oh yeah. I just want to show you, that was, I love mucking around with things after you finish with them ages ago. Oh yeah, I can never get rid of it. Oh, sorry, I just want to close it.
The other green.
Here it is. Here's the same thing. I just thought, just to show you what it looked like without the stars. This is only an 8-minute image, so it's not meant to be some, and where are we? This was a recent shot I took of, it's on the actual slideshow, but I didn't notice until I was looking at it the other day. Down here there's a globular. This is 47 tuck, of course. Can we go full screen there?
The green icon.
Oh, the green, thank you. Thanks, green.
Green for go.
Green for go. And down here, if you look at there, there's PGC 121, which is a globular, and up here, I thought, that looks like a galaxy. And if you go to Stellar and you put in your PGC catalogue, for really the fainter galaxies, it picks up all those, and that's PGC 206, 220 or something. So that was interesting. Now, I took the risk of sending this image off to the CCD inspector, and then you never do that, because Master Higby will dismember it instantly. And he took this, and I said, well, I was pretty happy with this. The stars are flat to the edge and all this sort of thing. And he wrote back and he said, oh, got an off-axis tilt of such and such, and all this sort of thing. Well, it doesn't show in the image. But the interesting thing was, I couldn't saturate these stars anymore because the exposure time was too small. So 30 second subs. But I still managed to get a fair bit of detail in there for what is that? I don't know, what's that in time wise? 15 minutes or something. And to escape that, escape it, I'll press escape. Oh, it's got an escape button.
The only reason the mouse is on that side because I ended up.
Oh, okay. And here's just an enlargement of the core. And can we zoom in on that? No. Anyway, you can see. Actually, this thing picks up the colour a bit better than a normal. Some things are bluer than they are on the. Oh, can you? Oh, yes. Now, the only thing I was going to say was, you know, the core of 47 tuck, using high dynamic range, multi-scale linear, multi-transform thingy, in Pixinsight you can dim, you can actually, and I had to dim the core a bit. So I found that very interesting to do. But now that I've seen Ultra Blacks, which you mentioned, the script, that managing the black script, I'm going to start using that a bit more. But that was a bit tricky not to get the background coloured like the stars. I'm still learning all that. I've got my old plates on. But anyway, that's all I want to show you.
That's a good image, Richard.
Sorry?
That's a good image, Richard. You got some colour.
Yeah, I was happy, but the inspector said, with a little bit more time you could get more colour, and I thought, yeah, but then if you get too much colour, they look overdone. They look cooked.
Yeah, come on, he trashed my image first.
Sorry?
He trashed my image first. Yours was second. He was far more lenient with you.
I wish the inspector was here. Anyway, on that note, that's all I want.
He needs to go back on holiday to build it right.
Yep, and eject. Eject no name. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks, Greg. Good night.
We were impressed. We were impressed.
Yeah.
As long as you like the tuck, I like my 47 tuck. It's the only thing I've taken that I've really like.
Right-handed.
A long way to go.
Well, I was as well. That's all right.
Richard, you don't get a big bird on it. PGC 121, it's a good target.
Yeah.
If you look at a target, I tend to overlook it.
Yeah.
20 gigs. I've only got 3 images here too. So this was out of Mount Pleasant on the 8th of the 11th, 22. So what night was that?
Cloudy. It would have been cloudy.
Would have been.
Give me another one. Go on. Give me another one. For the, what's the name?
Friday night, Dallas, lunar eclipse night.
So there's the lunar eclipse rising to the east. And here's Ross here, and he brought half his family along that night and friends to have a look through his telescope. So Ross is all set up there, and but all these clouds here, the moon disappeared behind those clouds, and we didn't see it again until about 10 o'clock. And by that time, everyone had gone to bed that I've spoken to, and they said, "Oh, did you see the moon?" And I said, "Yeah, it came out at 10 o'clock."
The kids next door saw theirs in there. They're too busy dancing on the tramway, they saw it come up. Oh, then they went to bed.
So this is one of the only images I got, and I actually got Uranus, which was just up to the right. So you've got the three shadows there. You've got an unshadowed area, the penumbra, the umbra, and the full shadow. And the third. This is one that Mike Booth, I think Mike's up the back there. Yeah, there it is. This is Mike's last image of the night. Did you want to say something about that one, Mike?
I found it really hard because I was using the ZWO camera that I was using. I never used it for this before. And I found it really hard to actually work out if I was actually focused or not. So it took me like all night to actually get to the point where I thought I was focused.
Everyone else just filming.
It's about a 3-second exposure at about mid-level gain. I'm so used to using ISO on Canon cameras, but I was taken aback a little bit by the fact that it didn't really bring out the red, but then that was just like a straight JPEG straight off the camera. So I don't know whether the raw data was processed it a bit, get a bit more red out of it for sure.
What time was that?
Oh, that was about 10 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah, about 11. We always know about 11, but it was about.
Yeah, just as it's coming out, you can see on the side there where it's oversaturated.
So we had about 17 people, I think, that were coming and going that night, which was really good. So, and okay, so that's it.
Anyone else got the images to show?
I've got some of the blood moon, the lunar eclipse.
Yep.
Don't know how they'll come out on the television, but we'll see. Just go on the tablet, so. Yeah, that's okay. You don't need to. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Might work on it. You know, reckon?
Why don't you?
I need to download software already.
Can you mirror it up to the TV?
Hey?
Can you mirror it up to the TV?
That'll probably take too much to do.
Because it hasn't been recognised, you just unplug it.
So the connection with
That's all right.
Yes.
Any other images from anybody? Steve, we've got a couple. Probably got a couple of minutes. You know what using that
A couple of painting ones over. It's been a difficult season for the planets. It's a difficult season. So this one here, is about my best this season. About my best. But this is actually my first go at 10-minute exposure, 10 1-minute exposures using winged GPOS to derotate. Again, only in my little 4.5-inch Matsutai Cassagro. But it's not in the same. That's not going to. Let's go. Not. Let's go. That's not. It's a small gift. That was taken a while ago. Yeah. So that's about my best for the season. I feel as though, well, I'm sort of looking forward to Mars now, at the middle of December, in the middle of the morning or something. Again, Jupiter, Saturn. That's about my best Saturn for the year. But is that? Oh, that's not true. Yeah, the screen doesn't really. Doesn't handle colours well. Okay. That's a beauty, Steve. It's going only out of the 4.5-inch legs. As you know, I talk about this mouse is weird. As you know, deep sky for me is all about using sharp cap for live stacking. All of these images are no more than 10 minutes. So whilst you might have an hour of processing, you'll call your day at about an hour. I call a day on an object at about 10 minutes, live stacking, colour balancing, etc. as I'm doing it, and then I move on to the next object. So this is electronically assisted astronomy. This is observing, not creating images. So I'm really wanting to observe things and then move on. So these are some observations in Rus. Just about a month ago, I think, one clear night that we had. Some people might recognise that. The Rus quartet, but there's only 3 galaxies there. My tiny sensor didn't give me an opportunity to see the 4th, but the other one is, if you take a line up here, it's off the.
Steve, what's the gain that you use for that?
So these are gain 300. Gain 300. So this is using just that little planetary camera.
Yeah.
Very sensitive planetary camera. Gain 300, 15-second exposures for no more than 10 minutes. And managing some noise reduction that you can do in sharp cap, some sharpening that you can do in sharp cap. You can do gradient removal, hot pixel removal, all those sort of things on the fly. So then I've never seen those before, and that's my observation. Aren't really. No, I can't. There's the 4th member. I'll leave it like this so that we can
So that's a fair way out of the field.
So the others, yes, the others are down here. I need a bigger sensor, which is, will come probably early next year. That's the fourth of the goods quartet. Oh, now can you see that on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
That's the IC 5148, the spare tyre nebula. It's extraordinary. You can see why they call it a spare tyre. So that's come up really well with a very bluish star in the middle, the one that's caused the planetary in the first place.
That's a nice colour in those stars.
That's
Yeah,
you can see up here, if you're looking up here, you can see that that's when I took it. It's the scope, the camera, process in sharp cut, 15-second exposures for 600 seconds. Again 400.
And you discard the back frames, you use the full width, maximum height, and say above any star above this.
Yes.
Don't
yes.
stack it. Yes.
Yep. Yes, that's right. There are a few things you can do in sharp cut to on the fly manage sort the zones. Now that's barely visible. That's a huge spiral galaxy here. It comes right out here, but at 10 minutes I called it quit because that's one of the things. Can you just see a hint of it?
Right on the big TV.
That's in Gross as well.
Yeah, they're all. So what I do of an evening is I'll tour a constellation. Just spend time in that constellation, and these are some. I have about 15 observations, and these are just some of them.
What's that one? I see
5201. The spherical, elliptical. So you can see elliptical here, and an edge on spiral. There's another classic, NGC 7424. It comes up better than the screen too, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Again, the colours are coming. So that's another classic face-on spiral. If you dwell on this for a couple of hours, you get a spectacular image.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it.
Thanks, sir. All right. Thank you everyone for coming on. There's just one more thing before we finish off, as Dallas just wanted to tell us a little bit about the Astro Imaging kit that the Society have put together for members to be able to utilise.
Yeah, okay, so we've got 3 cases over there, and those 3 cases have got the full kit in. So the one on the left is the mount that Lee donated. You can see it standing up at the back. So that's got an AZ GTI wedge on it, which is an equatorial wedge, so you can track all night, and there's a dovetail in there. You can put your camera on, put your own digital camera and lens on it, and you can use that to practice doing astrophotography. So before you can do all this great processing, you've got to actually take a picture of the nebula. So, and the one on the right, the one in the middle is a telescope the Society bought. That's a William Optic Zenith Star 61, and that's got a guide camera and a Seer plus mini computer attached to it, and it's already set up, focused and connected. So all you've got to do is pull it out of that case and put it on the mount, and you can start taking photos straight away. So you're welcome to borrow that kit any time. And I'm actually in the process of doing some notes to tell you how to use it. So, but yeah, any time from now you can borrow that kit.
I think it was going to be some sort of a training
we'll have
program to sort of instruct people on how to use it and not break it.
Yeah, that's right. We have to work out a program, a training program for you to put you through, so you know how to maintain it. And so once we've done that, you can actually borrow that anytime you like.
Thanks, Al. All right, thanks everyone for coming along. Thanks very much, Greg, for doing the presentation. Excellent job. And well, I guess have a good Christmas, everyone, because I probably won't see you before. And yeah, I think the next one will be in January, I guess, is it? A couple of months for the next engineering workshop. So I'm not sure what the topic will be. We'll think about that and send something out by email.